What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Off the Mask Podcast. This week's episode, I will be welcoming back our good friend Alfredo from Arte Suave Elite. And this go round, he brought with him Kelsey, who works behind the scenes and also has competed on previous shows as well. So, just want to introduce everyone and get us all buckled in, and welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Alfredo? And welcome, Kelsey. How are you all doing?
I'm good. I'm tired.
Good. I'm tired too.
Yeah. You guys had the wonderful benefit of just coming from training, where you all are at, from what I understand. So, like I told Alfredo, I'm living through you guys right now. I missed out on training tonight. So,
oh no.
So you guys are all exhausted and sweaty, and I'm over here saying, you know what? Me too. I'm taking it off from you guys too. Arte Suave 7 upcoming. You guys excited?
Absolutely.
Very excited. It's a fun card. It's a new venue. So lots of fun things and moving parts going on for this one.
Fair enough. So I've had the pleasure of sitting with Alfredo a few other episodes and talking about the events and just his involvement in getting just getting started. So with you being new to our conversation here, at least with me, Kelsey, what's this all been like for you getting involved, and how long I guess let me start first with how long have you been training?
So I've been training, it'll be 4 years this winter. So about 3.5, 4 years.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Good to hear. And now back to the first question that I just, got all mixed up. Getting involved in this, how's that all been for you and what led you into it?
So I'm one of the few that kind of pushed Fredo into this. It started as a big joke with everybody, and then it was no, this needs to happen. It's gonna happen. We're gonna do this. So it's been a really wild ride. I compete a lot, and I've competed for a lot of different promotions. So it's kind of fun to be behind the scenes on this one. I have an extensive background in event planning. I used to do weddings and corporate events. So this is getting to kind of combine everything I love and I'm good at. So it's definitely fun. It's different. I get to deal with athletes and competitors as opposed to brides and grooms and people like that. So it's a lot more fun for me now. And then the cherry on top is obviously when we get to compete on our own cards, because both Alfredo and I are really active competitors. So it's we get to put this on for other people, and then we also get to put it on for ourselves. But it's a really fun show and promotion to be a part of, because we give back and we're about the athletes, we're about the community and the nonprofits that we pick every month. So there's a little bit of a different message than what I feel other promotions bring to the table. So we are we give to charity first and foremost, and we really focus on our athletes.
Yeah, that's one thing when I first started speaking with Alfredo about this is just the charity, just that's huge. And being about the athletes and just caring about the athletes, because that's not to say that other organizations don't care, but you can you get that sense with a lot of different events that it's the event first, everything here first and then the athletes. And here with Arte Suave, you always get the sense that, you pick the athletes, very carefully, and, you care. You make sure that everything is fair for everyone involved, and that really shows. So, good job on that.
I'm glad that comes across. We're kind of the opposite of money hungry, and we kind of give it all back to everybody else, or we reinvest whatever we make into the show. And it's definitely not about us. It's about everybody else.
One question I also just realized I didn't included in the beginning here. Well, what rank are you?
I am a purple belt.
Awesome. In my head, I was like, I bet she's a purple belt, but I didn't want to just assume. I assume things, and then when I assume, it's like, no, you're way wrong. But
Basic white girl purple belt. Yep, that's me.
She's a purple belt with an annoying guard.
hey, nothing wrong with that. It's frustrating you. So think of it this way: it's working.
It's working.
Yeah.
I get called annoying quite often. I love it.
We share that in common, but not because of my guard. It's just like, here comes Dante again. Don't tell him we're going out.
Oh no.
All right, with the upcoming event, I've been seeing a few of the matchups posted on Instagram, just passing my timeline, and I always want to repost them, but it's like they're going so fast, and then I'm like, okay, I can't keep up. I can't keep up. And then I think last time I posted, I didn't even post nearly close to a percentage of who was all going to be there and participating, and I felt bad because it's like, if anyone is paying attention, they're like, well, wait a minute, you forgot us. So I hope that didn't.
What about us?
Hey, I feel that way sometimes at work when it's like, hey, I'm here. All right, you guys, at least are you paying me? No? All right, fine. I'll just go sit in my corner. So I guess with this upcoming event being number 7, now, this has been going along, for several events. How's it feel, like, as far as, not even from the first one, but like, let's say like your third one in, are things kind of moving a lot smoother? What are some of the challenges that you've come across as this has moved up down the line?
Things are definitely smoother. What's nice is we've added like an element to every single show. So like, our first show, the stream maybe wasn't the greatest. So we've like upgraded our cameras. We've added camera people. We have a DJ. Fredo keeps talking about the smoke and the dry ice, but he has to have this fog machine. But so each show just gets better and better, and there's always going to be some sort of a hiccup of some sort that you can't plan for. But I feel like that's one of the things we've done really well is the shows, at least from the viewers and from the competitors, it's always smooth. So if anything does go wrong, they don't know about it. So
Cool.
we've hidden any mishaps pretty well, but to be honest, we haven't really had any that have been ginormous anyways.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I hope that that streak carries on. That the first stream, I felt like, what, I can see. I don't know. I'm a very meat and potatoes kind of guy. It doesn't take me much to make me happy. I was able to see everything perfectly fine. There are a couple hiccups here and there, but that it's first event, so you run into those small trip ups in the beginning. But
So funny note on that is I recently sent a video to Kelsey and Justin of our first event and this last event that we had, and by far the pay-per-view is miles and miles ahead of what it was the first event. It is incredibly smooth. We've got commercials. The commentators are great. We in this actually yesterday, I can't even think what day it is. Yesterday I went. Me and the video guy went to the event, and we actually were talking a little bit about logistics, and we're actually this event we're gonna try having a video of the commentators again, and we're gonna have a background with our logo and everything, just to give it more of a like a professional feel for the pay-per-view in itself. I think we've ironed out all the kinks that we ran into the first couple months, and now the pay-per-view stream is absolutely beautiful. It's stunning. We have the cameras are Blackmagic cameras with beautiful lenses. Like, we did not spare anything in the cameras and the system for the pay-per-view. So to
It's
anybody
so
that's
smooth
here,
now.
yeah, it's extremely smooth. So
My
please
sister said
don't
the
hesitate.
first show looked like it was shot through a potato. And unfortunately, I was on that card. And so when I try to watch those videos back, I'm like, I can't even watch this right now. I'm fine. I'll move on. But yeah, so the cameras, number one, the quality is just, it's leaps and bounds what it was back in January and even February for the second show. It's just, those upgrades were so necessary. And it's like, this is what we need to invest in because people are paying for the pay-per-view. And we want them to have the same experience at home that we can give them if they were there.
Absolutely, and as a fan, I appreciate that because this will be one of the first weekends I'm able to actually catch it again. Because it seems like schedule wise, every time there's an event, and I know I can go back and rewatch it. When it comes to events in sports, especially, I have friends that they like the DVR. Football games, basketball games, and I can't do that. I got to see things live. Just as like the UFC cards, things like that. Yes, they'll show up on ESPN 2 weeks later for free, but it's like, nah, I got to be in that action right now. So with Arte Suave 7 upcoming, I, finally have that time where I can just get home from work, sit down, catch up, and just go from there. I think the event typically starts for me here on the East Coast. I think you're already maybe an hour in by the time I get home, but it still works out for me personally. So, I appreciate that.
Yeah, this event personally. We should start like at 3 for your time.
Yeah, we're starting at noon on the West Coast.
Okay. Well, usually on Saturdays, it's slow enough where like once 4 o'clock hits, I can start kind of, again, sitting in the corner and hiding from people. Like, hey, don't knock on the door. Leave me alone.
Leave me alone. I'm busy.
Yeah.
Watching jujitsu.
Fortunately, my manager, she's cool with it. She knows, like, look, I know this is what you like, and not only that, you can probably beat up anyone that comes through these doors, so they won't say anything to you. I'm like, no, I'm just a quiet guy that just wants to watch people compete. That's all. So with this card coming up, I did see you had the most recent thing that I saw come up was the 140-pound intermediate championship. Just looking at that looks pretty exciting. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
These guys are really good.
They're so good.
Yeah, everyone brings a specialty. We've got guys. We got a particular guy that's extremely well-rounded, has solid wrestling, solid jiu-jitsu, solid guard passing. We got a guy that's extremely technical. Actually, multiple guys that are extremely technical. We got wrestlers that have moved into jiu-jitsu. We got all types of guys, and I think it's going to be a really, really fun tournament. I think all of these matches are going to be really close. We got a guy from AOJ, some local guys. We got a guy from 916, which is here in Sacramento. Jason Wong from the area. He's, I think, Vacaville. Mario's from San Diego. Got a couple guys coming from Arizona or Utah, I believe. It's going to be fun. It's going to be very high paced because these guys are 140 pounds. They're not afraid to engage. But I'm going to speak for 3 guys that have been on the event that are going to be in this tournament. Mario, Jason, and Jimmy. They've all been on the event. They're not afraid to engage. They've all done very well with their matches. I think they're going to do very well, and I'm excited to watch it. I know Kelsey is too. We're both like super big jiu-jitsu nerds that like watching other people compete. We constantly talk about it too. We're like, oh, what do you think about this person and that person? Every single time we're in class. Like,
it's probably really annoying for everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But it's like every single one of the guys in the tournament has a completely different style. Like And that's one of the things that we love to do with the matchmaking in general is we match styles as to who's going to be exciting, who's going to, shut down or attempt to shut down somebody else's game. And so all 8 of these dudes are completely different. And it's going to be a really fun tournament. And I hate to say this, I'm probably more excited about the tournament than I am like any of the other matches on the card, just because I know that they're coming in and they all want to kill it. And it's for a really shiny belt, which is very pretty to me. So,
yeah, an upgraded belt at that.
An upgraded belt, yes.
Yeah,
Nice.
Very fancy now.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a big bonus there too when you get to fight for a belt and shiny. So double whammy. Are either of you on this card like in previous events, or you guys just gonna hang out for this one?
We're hanging out for this one. I was supposed to have a match, but she got promoted to brown belt, unfortunately, so our match fell through. But it's probably best since we're at a new venue and there's going to be moving pieces. There's a lot going on that we have our full focus on the event and not necessarily us competing. So we've got plenty coming up, though.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it continues to do well. I mean, like I told Fredo before, it doesn't look like this is slowing down anytime soon. So, yeah, there's always going to be plenty of events, plenty of matches. So that's a good thing. And as you've done the previous events, as far as competing, how has that been with competing in the event and also kind of still running things as well? What kind of challenges have come with that?
I think there was one event. So actually before, I think it was 2 months ago, we both competed on the event.
Oh, yeah. We went back to back.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. She went first and I went right after her. That actually, I think it went pretty well. I think. I mean,
we won. That's why it went well.
Yeah, that too. It went well as the matches, and I think it ran fairly smoothly. Again, like Kelsey said, we run into hiccups every event, and I think we all do a very good job. The people that help us out mainly train with us, and we got such a good chemistry with our team that the people that help us out, it just runs smoothly. People communicate with us when something goes wrong, or they're so willing to help, and we've got that culture in our gym where we help each other out to the max. I truly feel that we have the mentality of when one of us competes, we all compete, and when one of us they win this event, when we have this event, we all have this event. So it just having that energy and that culture has bleeded over into the events, and people notice that, and it runs smoothly.
It's nice to like having a match to focus on while also running the event, because you don't really have time to get into your head and start having like those mental games that some competitors play with themselves. Like you don't have that time because you're running an event, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shoot, like I gotta go warm up, I got 10 minutes, and then you get on the mat, you do your thing, you come off, you change, and you're right back at it. So it takes me out of my own head competitively, so you're just a little bit more relaxed, and it reflects in your game when you get on the mat to compete, because it's fun. It's like, oh, I haven't had all day to dwell on this match coming up. It's like, no, I've had to set up, I've had to run the timer, I've had to collect the fighters and this and that, and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna go do my thing, and then I'm gonna get right back into it. So it's kind of fun in that aspect.
I could see that. It almost sounds similar to when we used to play rec league basketball. One of us is a coach but also the player, so you don't really have time to have the distractions of just overthinking the actual event yourself as far as participating, because you got so many other things on your plate. So I definitely get that for sure. With this event upcoming, I know with anything, when you got something that's on the horizon, you never want to look past this. But I guess what I'm thinking too is, do you already have, you have anyone from this event that you think, you're going to hop right over to the next one? Or you got kind of give guys a in between, just kind of a break in between, before bringing them right back to another one. Like instead of this one's going to be 7, you're going to give them a breather until 9, or you got anyone that's going to go from 7 right into 8. How does that work out for you?
Well, for a lot of these guys are going to have a rest, at least from Arte Suave number 8, because we're actually having an all kids and teen event in August.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we've got a couple, like 3 kids/teens matches this go around, just mainly because there's kids pans the same exact day.
Yep.
I had this one kid, I think his name is Alex. He asked me over a month ago, hey, can I have a match? I'm like, yes, but it's going to be very hard because it's like, it's either, somebody like a wrestling tournament or someone, going to kids pans. I wanted to match him against a kid named Jonah. Jonah's undefeated on Arte Suave. Very good kid, like talent-wise. And he's going to kid pans. And I thought that would have been a good match. So it took a while. Kelsey could tell you, I think I was able to match him maybe like 2 days ago. And the event is like, 2 weeks from now. So it took me a while. But I think Kelsey and I, we both have kind of like the same thought process on who we want on the card again. It's not just about talent, although we'd love to have people that are talented, but it's also the attitude that a lot of people bring.
Yes.
They bring a crappy attitude. We kind of don't want those type, that type of environment at our events. So Jason Wong is a perfect example. He's competed a ton of times on Arte Suave, like 4 or 5.
Jason's the best.
Jason's an extremely talented grappler, and on top of that, he has such a great attitude, whether he wins or loses. Obviously, he's not happy when he loses, but he has such a good attitude of like, you know what? Back to the drawing board. I'm going to get better, and I'm going to come back. That's all we ask for. Like, don't throw excuses out there. Don't throw a pity party. Just, get better and come back. We don't care if you lose. We just want you to put on good jiu-jitsu. Like, it happens. Some people lose, and you just get better and come back and move on. Just I don't want to say put on a show, but display your jiu-jitsu. I think that's a better way of saying it, is display your jiu-jitsu, and people will love it. And I love watching great jiu-jitsu, and I know Kels does too. And that's how the way I see it. I don't know if Kels can add on top of that.
Oh yeah, and I mean that's the thing with jiu-jitsu is most people who are fans and want to watch jiu-jitsu also do jiu-jitsu. It's not like professional football or soccer where you're getting people who've never played the sport a day in their life. People who watch jiu-jitsu train jiu-jitsu, and they want to see a good show, and so we give the competitors the opportunity to display their skill set, and 99% of the time they have an amazing attitude, win or lose. Obviously, like, losing sucks, nobody wants to lose, but those who we continue to invite back, even if they have like an 0-4 record, are because they are also incredible people. We just like beautiful jiu-jitsu.
And it definitely shows. And that's one thing that I think is important is with the way that the events go, and just the character to you all behind the scenes. It's important that the athletes are also good spirited and just out there giving their all, and just putting on a good show in terms of just giving their best with their jiu-jitsu. So,
and that's all we want. We want good people, good jiu-jitsu, great fans. It's the show has definitely made itself into what it is, and our competitors, our helpers, our sponsors, everybody reflects the same message. And that's the vision that we had going into all of this, and to see it come to fruition is just, it's icing on the cake.
Absolutely. And one thing that I can say kind of came out is everyone that I've interacted with that's had some sort of connection with with Arte Suave. Everyone's been wonderful. It's just everyone's been super sweet, uh, just wonderfully nice people. Actually, Jacob Brown reached out to me a few weeks back, and he and I, chatted back and forth, and just talking with him, and then just remembering, his connection with you all and Arte Suave, just felt like I felt like I knew him. So, you all have, a great sense in how you pick your competitors, and, again, it really shows. So as a fan, we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. That warms my heart.
So with the event coming up in August for the teens, is that still kind of in process, or you get, things kind of locked down for that for the most part?
A little bit of both. Kids are.
We probably have like 60% of the matchups done, maybe, for that one.
Yeah, I would say about 60. Yeah, it's a little bit tougher with kids because it's like it's hit and miss. So I'll have some kids that are like, let's say we got I'll give you an example. We got a 115-pound teen championship going on. We got a couple girls that are 104 pounds, 100 and maybe barely at the 100 mark, that are going to be fighting at 115 pounds. They're going to be fighting other girls that are probably way closer to 115 pounds and are, really talented. And they're doing that only because there's a belt involved. Right? So it's not something that they would maybe normally do if it was just a super match. So, that's when it becomes difficult. Not everybody will do that. Not everybody will take a match like that, even if it is for a belt. So that's what's challenging, is there's so many different belt levels. We've got some girls or some guys that don't want to go above 5 pounds, some that don't want to go above 10, or or won't go up a belt level or won't fight down. There's just a lot of more things to deal with when matchmaking, and the weight range is different. And then you'll have some people that won't fight any more than 2 years above their weight, which I can definitely understand sometimes. But then you'll get some of those savages that like, I don't care. They're 12 years old and they'll fight a 15-year-old, because they're that good. The one that comes to mind is a kid named Amos. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. If you're listening, but he's a green belt down in Gracie Humaita, South Bay. So when I first talked to him, he was just like, yeah, I'd definitely like to be on your card. I'm like, all right, great. We got him a match, and he was telling me, he's like, watch, you trust me, you're not going to regret having me on. He was very confident, which, some people may confuse as like him being cocky, but I saw it as him being a very confident kid. And so I'm like, okay, let's watch this match. And he went up against a really good kid, one of the Nunez kids from Six Blades, and the kid from Gracie. Yeah, the kid from Gracie Humaita. He looked incredible. Oh my goodness, because they were both very good kids, and he won pretty decisively in that match, and it was very fun to watch him. And he had such a great attitude. He came up to me afterwards. He's like, thank you so much. This kid's a fight to win champ. Like, he's used to fight to win. He's gone on fight to win multiple times. And he comes up to me and he tells me, he's like, I love your show. And I was like, yeah, thank you. Like, we really try to make it as enjoyable as possible. And he was super excited. And he's like, I want to come back on this show again. And I'm like, well, just let me know, and we'll attempt to find you a kid that can push your limits. And that's another thing I want to kind of touch on. I know, like, I've talked to Kelsey about this. I think some people have gotten, at least, and this may not be a bad thing. Some people have gotten upset with me just, because of the matchmaking that I've done. And it's because I like to push people to their limits. And it's for multiple reasons. It's because we want a good show. And then two, I want to see good jujitsu. Like, I want to see people not struggle in a bad way, but like, you pull out all the tools from your tool bag. Like, let's see you use your jujitsu. And so, I think I mentioned this before. There's a girl named Jadea. She asked to be on the card as well a while back, and I'm like, this is going to be hard because I've offered many people to fight you, and they've declined because they know how good you are. And so, I told her, I'm like, I'm not going to give you a match just because. I'm going to give you a match that's going to challenge you. And afterwards, she's like, thank you for doing that. She's had 2 tough matches. She's won both of them. But she's had 2 incredibly tough matches, and she wants to compete on I don't remember which card it is. She reached out to me recently. I'm like, yeah, we can get you on that card again. But again, I want to make sure that I get you a challenge and not somebody you're just going to submit in 2 minutes.
make her work for it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, you should want to compete against the best. And we want to give people that opportunity, because it's ever since we switched over to the ref's decision format for our rule set, 50% or greater of all of the matches are going to ref's decision. And that just tells you like how well matched these opponents are. And it's so fun to watch because it's anybody's game, anybody's day. And to have kids like Fredo just mentioned on the card is awesome. Like, the kids' parents, both Jadea and Amos's, they are so appreciative of having their kids on the card and like how hard we work to find them good matchups. So it'll be fun to have like an entire show of that. And that's one thing that does make the kids and the teens events a little trickier, is like, you're not just dealing with the competitor like you do with the adults. You're also dealing with their families or siblings, parents who want to all come, who have to sign all the waivers, who have to take care and approve all of the things. So it's like another step we have to take with it. But to have a whole event just dedicated to these little rock stars is going to be super fun for us in August. And, it'll be fun to see and hopefully super fun to watch, because some of these kids just make me feel absolutely terrible about my own jujitsu. I'm like, man, I suck.
Oh yeah, some of these kids are
8-year-olds doing bolos.
Yeah, amazing.
We share that in common. When I see our kids compete, and I'm just like, oh boy. Or even worse, when we're coaching them, and I'm just watching these kids. It's like, all right, get your sparring gear on, and then you see them going. I'm just thinking, like, man.
Watch, Don. I'm gonna send you a link to our Arte Suave 5 in San Pedro. Frankie Whelan.
Oh man,
this 6-year-old girl has such amazing jiu-jitsu. 6-year-old who gave up like, I think, almost 10 pounds, and she did. Yeah. And she did amazing for giving up 10 pounds. She won. Yeah. And it was just, I saw her and I was like, what is going on right now? Like, this little girl has better jiu-jitsu than 95% of adults. It was such an amazing display of jiu-jitsu.
It's like astonishing and infuriating all at the same time. Yeah. You're like, yes, like, get it. And then, oh my God, I really need to work on things.
Like that moment where it all clicks. It's like, yeah, you're clapping it up for them. You start things like, oh no, like this just shows how much I need to work on. Look at that kid do this. I can't even do that. And I see it too often for myself. So I'm just like, it's at a point right now with our kids, whenever we're coaching them, I sometimes feel like, as I try to instruct them or something, I'm like, all right, here, let me help with this. And I feel like there's a couple kids that are just thinking, dude, I could teach you this. Back up off me.
As a
But
fellow
hey,
kids class coach, I understand.
they're the future. So that's one of the things though, when you're coaching the kids, you want them to, you don't want to ever hamstring them. You don't want to teach them a minimum amount of stuff so that way, they don't surpass the master. You want them to be better. So
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
And I mean, that's what our professor tells us all the time. He keeps telling us like the room gets harder and harder because he's teaching us what he knows. And so it's nice to be able to turn around and then do that for the kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the other day he said that he was ducking like half the class.
Sorry, Dad.
I get paired up with our wrestling coach's son every so often, and each time it has gotten just harder and harder. We were working takedowns last month. We're doing King of the Hill, and he's over in the teens group just demolishing everyone. So coach taps me and goes, hey, on his next go round, I want you to pair up with him. And I look, I was like, okay, cool. I go over, he's exhausted at this point, and even exhausted, he still was just putting it on me. Eventually he was burned out, and I got the takedown, but not because it was anything I did. It was just I went over to him and like hugged him. I was like, dude, I know you're exhausted. He went for an inside trip and he slipped and missed it, and I reversed it on him. I was like, okay, I'll take it, but he's good. Like, just so
You're like, yes, this is my moment.
It's like part of me felt great about getting the takedown, but the other part was like, it's not a real win. He's tired. Like, he just went through 5 kids. I went through 1 adult, and I got taken down. So I was like, oh, I'm pretty fresh. So
Yeah, that's when I call out Fredo to roll when he looks tired. I'm like, come here, buddy. We can roll now.
Yeah.
I always
And I could never say no to a roll either.
I always survey the room. I'm like, all right, who looks the most tired? Oh, look at that guy. He can barely move. And then next thing you know, they're like, nope, I got just enough for you. It's like, drats. You weren't supposed to. So with this, going back to Arte Suave 7, just off top, how many matchups that you have right now? Do you have, so with the intermediate bracket, do you have any other brackets for this tournament or for this event?
It's just that one. We're gonna have that's why I laughed. I texted Kelsey the other day. I'm like, hey, so we've got like 39 matches.
Oh my god.
Okay.
It's gonna be a decent size. Yeah, it's gonna be a long day.
Well, you know what? It's well worth it.
Yeah, no, it is. It's fun.
So
It really is.
And they're great matchups, like they just keep rolling in. We have a lot of blue belt matches on this card, so it'll be fun to like give them the opportunity to showcase themselves.
Sure.
I think we have more blue belts than anybody else combined. And then the tournament itself, which will be sprinkled in there. But it's a great card, and it's going to be a long day, but it'll be worth it. So much fun.
Yeah.
As I was scrolling through, looking at the matchups, I was like, yeah, there are a lot of blue belts here, which is good. I always feel like with events, blue belts, they get to be out there, but I sometimes feel like blue belts, they don't get seen as much, with just the, purples, browns, and black belts out there doing their thing. And then the blue belts are still trying to, make their way and get recognized. So, kudos to you guys for putting the blues out there. Shout out to my fellow blue belts. What's up, y'all?
We're trying. We're giving them some credit.
Yeah. Usually it's the blue belts, the ones mainly asking for all the matches. And I think this month it just ended up working out where we were able to get a bunch of blue belts. And there was one month where we had like 12 purple belt matches or more than that. It was like a ton of purple belt matches. The San Pedro one, half of that card was kids and teens. That one in itself kind of felt like a team, like a team card. Which kind of inspired our teen one, was that one. Yeah, we've had a nice decent mix of cards where they kind of switch up, and we try to switch it up, make it interesting.
I think that's an important thing with this kind of format. You just want to have some variety, just kind of keep people on their toes to keep everybody entertained. So you're doing it all. Every event, things are changing up, things are improving. So it's just going to keep getting better.
That's the hope. That's the plan.
Yeah.
So with the August card for the teens, are all those matches going to be just single matches, or do you have any brackets, or potentially looking at having any brackets over there for like a little mini tournament?
Yeah. I say yeah because I think we kind of probably more so me. I get excited with like these brackets. I'm like, oh, let's put this person in and that person in, and I'm all the time. It's literally I'll be driving, I'll be doing the most I'll be cooking eggs, and I'll be like, you know what? This person would be a fun matchup.
And then I usually get a text message that's like, what do you think? I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. So we're gonna have 4 brackets. They're gonna be small brackets, but we've got 4 for belt, and then we've got actually 2 matches for teen belts. So it's gonna be a fun full day of like belt matches, or everyone's gonna earn their belt for sure. The fun one that I think that I'm really excited for is actually I'm excited for all of them, I can't lie. But 115 pound teen female bracket, 95, we call it the baddest yellow belt bracket for females at 95 pounds. And then I'm having trouble filling up a decent amount for 85-pound yellow belt bracket. And then we've got I believe a 95-pound gray belt bracket. And the main reason is, and Kelsey could definitely agree with this, not many promotions give love to like blue and purple belts, as in like getting a chance to fight for like a belt.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because I guess nobody cares about blue and purple belts.
I care.
So I just want to say we care as well. And because to be honest with you, there's a lot of really talented blue and purple belts, which is why we also made the decision, I think a couple events ago, to allow blue belts and no-gi to be able to heel hook, because it's like some of these blue belts, they're that good, like they can defend the heel hooks. There's no reason why we shouldn't not allow them to be able to do all of jiu-jitsu. Sure. So we want to show everybody love, and that's why we even have a gray belt for fighting for belts. So.
Can you imagine being like a 10, 11-year-old gray belt in jiu-jitsu and you get to fight for a belt? Like that would have made my life at that age, and it's, these kids get that opportunity now, and it's, and it's not just that, but they're earning it. They're earning it with their skill. They're earning it with their attitude. And it's like, heck yeah, we want to have you guys on the card. Like, you fight for this belt. Let's do it. And I think our sponsors really enjoy it too, because we get to put their logos on the shiny belts.
Yeah.
And so it's like a win-win for everybody. It's fun jiu-jitsu. The kids get to put on a show, and someone gets to go home with a belt.
And all these girls and guys that are fighting for belts in these brackets, and at least in the kids and teen tournament, they've placed in a major tournament. So it's like, these are good girls and guys. Like they're very talented. So they've either placed in Jiu-Jitsu World League or IBJJF.
They're like Pan's Kids champions everywhere.
Yeah.
I put together all of the notes for the commentators, and the kids usually have more notes than anybody else. And it's like 15-time IBJJF kids pans champion or whatever. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, how old are you?
The game is definitely changing, just even from 5 years ago, just kids, jiu-jitsu's more in the public eye now. So you're starting to see a lot more kids, going for the opportunity and trying it out. And like I've been saying for the last few episodes, I don't think jiu-jitsu is for everyone, but I think everyone should give it a try and, see if it works out. And a lot of these kids are giving it a try, and it's turning out that, this is something for them.
It's cool to watch. It's cool to watch them develop their skill set. And so as the promotion gets to go on, hopefully, fingers crossed, over the next X amount of years, we get to see these kids really come into their own. These gray belts who started on the promotion are going to eventually be blue, purple, brown belts at some point, and we get to watch them just grow in the sport. And it's really cool to be on that side of it.
That's always a fulfilling, just a nice fill-in as you watch growth and development of someone, from early on, and just watch them get to that mid card area. And then once they hit that higher level, there's always something wonderful about seeing that progression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've had a couple kids say, I want to be competing on Arte Suave when I'm a black belt. And I'm like, whoa.
Me too, buddy.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
We share that in common.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool to hear.
Good. And, that's one thing too. I think it's important with having the teen card. I think that's important because, again, you're giving them an opportunity to shine. You're getting gray belts out there, the opportunity to really shine and compete for a belt. That's an amazing thing, especially at their age, and just being able to say, hey, I've done this. And, you still, have the opportunity to come back and do it again. And it's almost like they have a home, for competing. So, again, kudos to you guys for providing this opportunity. I'm sure, this means a lot to, a lot of these kids. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I know we both love seeing how excited a lot of these kids and how serious they take it, and for good, for good reason. Like, I love it. Like, they really because you'll see some people that, and I haven't really seen this at all on our events, is like they'll sign up for a tournament like, if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. Like, it's not as important. They're like, because maybe they don't care about the promotion as much, or they don't, or even like the tournament as much. But for like what I've noticed, like they really care not only how they look, they're getting haircuts before the events. Like they're going all out, and I think it's a result of how we go all out with our events, as in like we really focus on the fighters. It's not where we want to look flashy. We want to focus on the fighters and make them feel at home, and again, just help display their jiu-jitsu, and just promote the fighter and not the event. Because eventually, if you promote the fighter, you're already promoting the event. So might as well just promote the fighter. Sure. So that's the way we see it.
Fair enough. At any point, with having, your typical cards, 1 through 7, and now, upcoming with 8 being the teens card, has there been any thought or, ideal of possibly doing an all female card at some point?
Ooh.
That'd be cool. Yeah. I think Kelsey would absolutely love doing that.
I've been on a few all female cards, with Sub 100 Pro and Submissions on the Shore, and they were a good time. I'm not gonna lie. It's fun to be surrounded by like a bunch of like-minded ladies, because it doesn't matter what academy you're at, you're never gonna have as many females as you do guys.
Sure.
So it's
Yeah.
fun to be in that environment with a bunch of ladies who like are also obsessed with jiu-jitsu and competing and whatnot. So I think there are some promotions that have done like the all ladies card really well. I got to commentate one of them for a Fight to Win, which was a fun experience.
Cool.
But I think an all female card would be really cool. But I'm really biased when it comes to that. So
Oh, even though I am a male, I am biased as well. I have a daughter, so I'm always, looking at, hey, like, what about the girls? What about the girls? Type deal. So, that was just one of my thoughts. Are like, it'd be interesting, if that's upcoming, maybe next March, Women's Month. It'd be a perfect time for it.
that would be fun.
No.
I don't know, just a thought. And with the events, as they take place, and all your wonderful sponsors, are there any new sponsors that are on board, or you still kind of rocking with the same group for right now?
I think for the most part, we got the same group. We're always open. I think Kelsey mentioned this earlier on. It's almost the same thing with the sponsors, actually. We want the sponsors to carry the same energy that we do. And I think right now the sponsors that we do have coming to our events do carry that same energy and that same vibe. I am speaking to one, so maybe they'll hop on board. I really hope they do. It has to do with food. I like food. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, so it's I really hope they hop on board. That's all. Yeah, I think it'd benefit both of us a ton.
Hey, I like food too.
We all like to eat.
Yeah.
I think I like to eat too much. So,
I may not look like it, but I can throw down.
Donuts.
Donuts. All the donuts.
I've never met a pastry I didn't love. So, and I just fell in love with apple fritters lately. So it's.
Those are my favorite.
I just discovered them 3 weeks ago, and it's been great, but not great. So they're good though. But
I get one every Sunday.
I wish I had that discipline to only have one every Sunday. It's at this point, it's probably every day.
Oh boy,
twice. They're delicious. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I found them on accident. I didn't want to get a donut. It looked like it was too cheap, so I got an apple fritter because it looked like it had a lot of life to it. And next thing you know, I was back about 2 hours later getting another one, and then my wife got me one the next day, and I probably got to go to a meeting about it now. I've got a problem, but I love pastries. All right. Well, at this point in the game, it's getting kind of late, so I'm gonna let you all head out of here. But I do want to say thank you both to being my guests and just sharing, your experiences and your knowledge, about the events and what's upcoming for Arte Suave 7 and then Arte Suave 8 with the team. So thank you very much for that. And before we get out of here, did you have any mentions or shout outs you wanted to throw out there?
Always, 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 all of our sponsors. We can't do anything of what we do without them. We do have a third member of our crew as well who is super helpful.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to our team where we train at Precision, and then all the other people that do help us out. You guys know who you are, who have stepped in from different gyms. We've had Rich Goodwin, Brian down at Six Blades. Rich from Stockton Jiu-Jitsu Academy has always offered himself to help out, and just the willingness of all the people that have offered, but we have our core people that definitely help out from our gym, Precision, and our gym. We love our gym. So
It's the best. It really
yeah.
is.
Yeah. So
We're really
shout
lucky.
out to everybody at Precision.
I think that's an important thing too. Is as we go through this jiu-jitsu journey, training at an academy that's home and that's family. So I'm glad you all have that relationship with your academy. So awesome. Kudos.
Yeah.
That's my new word. Kudos for
Kudos.
so again, thank you, Kelsey and Fredo, for being my guests here, and thank you to everyone who's been listening. Again, can't do this without you all. We greatly appreciate all the support. As usual, big shout out to our friends over at Student of BJJ, my friend Zach. Big shout out to Nerd Rage Radio, my buddy Bobby, Joe, and Chris. Thank you guys for everything that you do and getting me set up on this journey of podcasting myself. And last but not least, big shout out to the team over at Arte Suave. And be sure, everyone, to tune in for Arte Suave 7 on July 24th. I was about to say 27th. Sorry, July 24th. Everybody out there, make sure you tune in to Arte Suave coming up on July 24th. Otherwise, you all keep listening, and I will keep on making these podcasts. Thank you, and ciao.
Deep with it. Now let me sing a song.